order, and we'll start with Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. We'll go ahead and move on to the next item on the agenda, which is the reading of the oath of our newest board member, Mr. Anthony Bruno. If you'd join me in the front. I think someone cheated and gave you a copy to read.
I asked for one.
So please repeat after me. Thank you. I, Anthony Bruno, do solemnly swear
I, Anthony Bruno, do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution and laws of the state of Arizona,
I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution and laws of the state of Arizona.
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same
I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same
and defend them against all enemies,
and defend them against all enemies,
foreign and domestic,
foreign and domestic.
and that I will faithfully and impartially discharge the duties
I will faithfully and impartially discharge the duties
of the office of the governing board of Sahuarita Unified School District number 30
of the office of the governing board of the Sahuarita Unified School District number 30,
according to the best of my abilities.
according to the best of my abilities.
So help me.
So help me God.
Thank you very much. Welcome to the board.
Thank you.
And just for everybody to know, that's not a common occurrence when someone leaves the board. Someone is appointed by the county superintendent, and Mr. Bruno was appointed by the county superintendent to fill the spot that was vacated by Ms. Warner. Thank you for being here for that. All right, we'll go ahead and move on to the next item on the agenda, roll call. Ms. Palacios.
Governing Board President, Dr. John Sparks.
Here.
Governing Board Clerk, Sherry Lowell.
Here.
Governing Board Member, Denise Reese.
Here.
Governing Board Member, Anthony Bruno.
Here.
Governing Board Member, Raul Rodriguez.
Here.
District Administration Superintendent, Dr. Manuel Valenzuela.
Present.
Assistant Superintendent, Scott Downs.
Here.
Assistant Superintendent, Brett Bonner.
Here.
Director of Business Services, Christina Martin.
Here.
Thank you very much. We'll go ahead and move on to the next item on the agenda. Approval of the revised agenda, Dr. Valenzuela.
Yes, sir. President Sparks, members of the board, at this time I do recommend approval of the agenda as it was revised.
Thank you very much. We have a recommendation. Do we have a motion?
So moved. Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion about the revised agenda? Seeing no further discussion, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say nay. Thank you very much. Next item on the agenda is approval of the minutes. Dr. Valenzuela.
Yes, sir. President Sparks, members of the board and public. In your packet, you have draft copies of the minutes from the regularly scheduled meeting of the board back on April 12th, 2023. And after your review and consideration, I do recommend approval at this time.
Thank you very much. We have a recommendation. Do we have a motion?
Second.
Motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing no further discussion, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say nay. Thank you very much. We'll go ahead and move on to the next item on the agenda, ratification of the vouchers.
Good evening. On behalf of Ms. Huey, I recommend approval and ratification of payroll vouchers 20 and 21 and new payroll voucher 24 for a total of $6,526,303.82. Additionally, I recommend expense vouchers 1077 through 1082 and new expense vouchers 1089 through 1092 for a total of $9,405,898.76 for a grand total of ratifications and new vouchers of $15,932,202.58.
Thank you very much. We have a recommendation from Ms. Martin. Do we have a? Thank you very much. Motion and a second. Thank you very much. I could barely hear the motion.
Sorry, I'm so moved. It's me.
Thank you. It's the newfangled technology. I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? No further discussion noted. So all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say nay. Thank you very much. We'll move on to the next item on the agenda. Superintendent's report, Dr. Valenzuela.
Yes, sir. Thank you, President Sparks, members of the board. Just a few items of note. We always begin with the presentation of enrollment data. As I've mentioned in the past, for all practical intent and purposes, it continues to be flat, which is a positive indicator in terms of the stabilization of that number. We talked about some of the challenges we faced during the pandemic and how they are beginning to rebound and trending upward. You drive around, you see the houses coming out of the ground, signs of progress and promise. So it's exciting to see that. But for right now, it continues to be flat. And as I always say, the blue line's above the orange one. So today's a good day. As always, I have a few items of highlight and note to share regarding the amazing examples in which Sahuarita continues to shine. I recently read the latest copy of the Sahuarita Sun, our local paper, and they did a nice article about 3 of our students, 1 from Sahuarita, 2 from Walden, that qualified for the all-state concert. And this is among Arizona's finest musicians. And we have Karen Cornaby, Lily Good, and Addison Smith. I believe Karen's from Sahuarita High, and the other 2 ladies are from Walden Grove. So they will represent us with excellence, and we are very proud of them. Speaking of proud, I am really proud of our community. I am proud of our partnership with Pima Community College. I'm proud of our Sahuarita Wins cross-sector partnership and just the general spirit of community support that exists here. We began with a vision of providing the promise of 2 years tuition for as many students as we can that graduate from Sahuarita and Walden Grove High School that meet the entrance qualifications, basic qualifications, whether they're going for an industrial certificate, a professional certificate, a 2-year degree, or they want to go to a 4-year degree and beyond, to help support those first 2 years. And through the support of SEAF, the Educational Enrichment Foundation, and the local Masonic Lodge, and a particular acknowledgement to my predecessor, colleague, and good friend, Dr. J. St. John, we've been able to establish a fund in the amount of about $112,000 with the match from the Pima Foundation. And we now have a nice starting nest egg to actualize this promise on our students to be able to have those first 2 years. And Pima is a great avenue for many things. And the majority of our students that go to post-secondary ed, which is about 75 to 80%, are going to Pima. So to support this is just a win-win-win, or as we say, it's the Sahuarita Wins way. So very proud of that. I'd like to wish good luck. And by the way, if there's any students that are interested, if you see your counselor, they can guide you because the application is open and we don't want anybody to miss out. And special shout out and thank you to Pima College, and in particular James Palacios, their Dean of Dual Enrollment and High School Relations. He's really been a doer and a breaker of barriers in the past that have challenged us in this regard. So thanks to him, and thanks to you, Brett, also for being our kind of point man and leading the charge going forward. It's good for kids. Hey, speaking of our students and how they shine, I want to wish good luck to both the Mustangs and the Red Wolves as they surge ahead in what is now playoff season, if you can believe it, the spring sports. Right now, I think the Red Wolves are playing in the play-in round of the state baseball playoffs down the road at Walden. And the Sahuarita Mustangs host their first game at 11 o'clock on Saturday here at the field. So hopefully we'll all come out and cheer them on. And I think the Sahuarita High School softball team is playing today in the play-in round. So I know there's a variety of other things going on, but those are just a few of the highlights. It's an exciting but very busy time of year, and I thank you for your time.
Thank you very much, Dr. Valenzuela. We'll go ahead and move on to the next item on the agenda, governing board reports. Ms. Lowell.
I would just like to welcome Tony back to the board. It's going to be a pleasure to serve with you again. And I do believe that our academic decathlon group made it to Washington, D.C., did they not?
Actually, Dallas, Texas.
Dallas.
And if I'm not mistaken, they're there right now or thereabout. Yeah, this is the week.
And this is their first year, is it not?
It's the first year that we have ever qualified for the United States Nationals in the very prestigious, very rigorous academic decathlon.
So I wanted to give a shout out to them and that we're very
Huge
proud
shout
of all of them and all of their hard work. And as we're rounding into the end of the year, that's a lot to keep our eyes on. And so just a shout out. Thank you very much. That's it.
Thank you very much. Ms. Reese.
I just want to congratulate Sahuarita Indoor Percussion. They won state last weekend, 2 weekends ago, sorry. 2 weekends ago, and that was a combined group both with Walden and Sahuarita High School students. So wanted to wish them luck. And then we have multiple of music groups traveling this weekend to a music festival in California. So safe travels to them.
Yes, ma'am. I heard there's like 3 schools, I think.
Yeah, Wrightston, Anza, and SHS are all traveling.
They're going to call California Sahuarita West.
So, and then that's it.
Thank you very much. Mr. Bruno.
I'd like to start by just saying I'm glad to be back on the board, but more importantly, not only to represent the school district, but to represent the parents and the youth in our school district. They all deserve a chance to improve their lives in whatever that may be. And I would go on to say that I look forward to learning about each of you and how we can all work together. I had the opportunity today to take the tour of our Pima College JTED CTE programs at Walden Grove, and we had student ambassadors lead us around. We have some very sharp kids. The youth in those programs know their stuff. They have actually planned their future out through what they're learning, and it's a good grounding and a good starting point for those students. And they will get the 2 years that they need from Pima College. And so it was a breath of fresh air for me to take that tour and meet some of those students and youth. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Mr. Rodriguez.
Yeah, I'd just like to congratulate the students that were inducted into the National Honor Society of the Sahuarita High School students. What caught my attention was the number of students that were inducted. I think that's just another example of how Sahuarita shines.
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much. I just want to add that my sentiments also to the initiation of the Pima Community College Scholarship Program. I think, as we talk about the impact of the cost of education in our society, not only do we offer dual enrollment classes free of charge, quite a few of them,
30.
30.
Yes, sir.
And I know that lowers that burden. And then also to be able to enter and take 2 years at Pima Community College is a tremendous lifting of a burden of financial strain on many families. And I think that it just goes to show that there's a constant effort in the community to find ways to support students as they try to achieve their academic goals, whatever that may be, whether that be in CTE or in academics or military as they move on after high school. But it makes me smile. Or, when I see the NIMSY check come across for my kid, did well on all the AP exams, or when I see the Pima program, or just a lot, the CATS program we have for educators, students who want to come back as educators have on our campuses to train teachers, and just all the opportunities that people have in our community. I'm very grateful for such a relatively small community in the state. We regularly produce award-winning programs that people come from other states to copy and to learn from, and the Sahuarita Wins is a good example of that too. So I think I never cease to be amazed at the effort people put in to help people succeed and advance forward. So I appreciate everybody involved in all of those things. So sorry I waxed poetic there. I apologize. So
Dr. Sparks, real quick. Manny, on the Pima Community College,
Yes, ma'am.
it's great that we have the leadership and character tonight, because these parents of all these leaders in character get to hear about that new program that we're going to have with Pima Community College. How are we going to get the word out of that? It's going to go through the counselors, or when's that announcement going to be made?
It's from the rooftops. Amber's been working it through social media, through
Okay,
the
good.
counselors, because we really want as many kids until the money runs out. And the goal is that people will see the return on investment and will want to invest in it. We've already had an additional corporate contact about a possible significant donation to add to
Great.
that. So hopefully, critical mass success
Yeah.
will breed success. And you're right. We don't want to leave anybody behind.
It's a good night to announce.
Yes,
Thank
ma'am.
you. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Lowell. We'll go ahead and move on to the next item on the agenda. It's our recognitions for students. That's our April Leader in Character Award. And I believe Mr. Bruno will be presenting those awards.
Mr. Bruno will be making the honors this evening, and truly it is an honor. And parents and students, thank you so much for making time. We're rounding out the year. I believe this is our last edition of this year's Leader in Character Award. But I just want you to know how special it is. We are closing out year 16. We started this shortly after I landed here back in 2005. We started in 2007. And really the goal is really simple. It's to acknowledge that character counts, and that the development of strong citizenship attributes and virtues and values is an important part of the educational process. And it correlates not just to academic success, but also to the ability of students to live fulfilled lives where they reach their full potential and where they are productive, positive citizens in our society. So I'm just telling you, we can't say too loudly or too proudly how much we are grateful that you're here. I know it's a busy time. This is a big deal. And I know I can speak for each and all of the individuals on the dais here with me. So with that, I'd like to ask Mr. Bruno to come around. Students, when your name is called, we'll ask you to come down. And Mr. Bruno will present your certificate, your gift card to Barnes & Noble, and a nice letter from me and the board acknowledging your award. So we begin with, I'm sorry, I forgot to mention that when you come down, don't go away, come through, and Mr. Bonner, the gentleman up there, will, waving at you, will set you up on the steps. We've got this down to a science now. It's a great place to take a picture, and then Amber will take a picture, and we'll send it to the newspaper because they've continued to be great sponsors from the beginning, and they put it in the newspaper, and we want everybody to know how wonderful our students are. So now we begin with the Leader in Character from Sopery Elementary School. Congratulations, Corbin Spencer.
Hey, Corrigan.
Congratulations, Corbin. And now we recognize the Leaders in Character from Onza Trail. That's right. We do 2 at Onza and 2 at Wrightson because as K-8s, they're kind of elementary and middle. So we'll begin with the elementary honoree from Onza Trail, 4th grader. Congratulations, Trey Igo.
Congratulations.
Good job, Trey. And our middle school Leader in Character is a 7th grader. Congratulations, Addison McAllister. And we'll move right along to Sahuarita Primary, where we have another 2nd grader to honor this evening as their Leader in Character. Congratulations, Emiliano Mendez. Congratulations, Emiliano. We now recognize the Leader in Character from Sahuarita Intermediate School. Congratulations, Eli Nolan.
Congratulations, Eli.
And across the street at Copperview School, it is my honor to recognize their Leader in Character, who is a 5th grader named Leila Coronado. Come on down.
Congratulations, Leila.
All right, we're now moving to Wrightson Ridge, where again, we're going to honor two distinguished students, beginning with first grader Alejandro Alvirde. Come on down. I don't see Alejandro, so we will move on to our second honoree from Wrightson Ridge. Congratulations, seventh grader Aiden Valdez.
Congratulations.
Way to go, Aiden. Congratulations to you and all of you. And I will now do the honors of recognizing the leader in character from Sahuarita Middle School. Congratulations, Maribel Duran. And we always round out the celebration with our high school leaders in character, beginning with our leader in character from Sahuarita High School. Congratulations, sophomore Cole Hoffman. And our leader in character from Walden Grove High School is a senior. And her name is Isabella de la Osa. Come on down. And finally, we remember that we have a 10th school, a fully accredited, fully online, fully licensed Sahuarita Digital Pathways Academy. And the leader in character from SDPA is junior Angelica Burgueño. Congratulations to all of you. Remember to smile big for the picture as soon as Angelica gets over there. And parents, again, thank you for the impact you have on your students. Thank you for sharing them with us, for continuing to guide them. If you want to come down and take pictures down here, don't be shy. And if you got to go, don't be shy either. We'd love to have you stay, but if you got to go, we know it's busy days. And again, thank you and congratulations to all of these wonderful students. Let's give them one more round of applause. Again, congratulations to all of you and have a wonderful evening. Absolutely. What's that?
Okay, thank you very much. No call to the public this evening, so we'll go ahead and move on to item number 8, public auction items. Dr.
Yes, sir. President Sparks, members of the board, you actually have a fairly abbreviated list this evening of items that have exhausted their useful life and require your designation as such so that they can be put on the auction block to capture residual value. And so that designation is my recommendation to you this evening.
Thank you very much. We have a recommendation. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing no further discussion, all those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed say nay. Thank you very much. We'll go ahead and move on to the new item of business. Item number 10, new business personnel. Item A, support staff work schedule. Dr. Valenzuela.
Yes, sir. Thank you, President Sparks, members of the board. And if it would be agreeable with the board, I will make just a few brief comments. I'll ask Assistant Superintendent Downs if he has any holes to fill or additional information to add, and then I'll make the formal recommendation. This first item is the support staff work schedule for the subsequent year, and basically it addresses things like designating work days, holidays, total paid days for different categories of employees. We have support staff that work 10 months, 11 months, 12 months. Mr. Downs, anything to add about the process or the contents or anything new?
It's very routine item. It's exactly as it was last year, so no surprises. There actually is one very minor change, and out of unanimous support from the workforce themselves, we actually took one day away from the health assistants because of our summer schedule. And we don't work Fridays, we work 4/10s. They came back on a Thursday, and then they had 3 days off, and then they started Monday. And they all very unanimously said, can we just start on Monday? So it was actually a savings to the district, and Janine supported it. So that's the only change, is there's actually one work day less for health assistants.
So with that, I would recommend approval of the 23-24 support staff work schedule as presented.
Thank you very much. We have a recommendation. Do we have a motion?
So moved. Second.
Motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing no further discussion, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say nay. Thank you very much. We'll go ahead and move on to the next item on the schedule, the support staff wage schedule. Dr. Valenzuela.
Yes, sir. Dr. Sparks, President Sparks, members of the board. This is again an annual process that basically involves amending the entry-level wages that we pay our different categories of support staff, employee team members. Scott reviews it, analyzes it based on the board's approved compensation plan, and works very meticulously to make sure that, of course, that we're competitive, that we're aligned, but also that we're being considerate and fair to existing employees who have already been here. So he modifies those numbers accordingly. Scott, any other details relevant to that objective or how you do it or that you think I've failed to cover?
Nope.
Then I would recommend your approval of the support staff wage schedule as it was presented.
Thank you very much. We have a recommendation. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any further discussion? Mr. Downs, I do have one question. This does take into account the new minimum wage increase that's coming up in just a few weeks, right?
We tried to bite off as much as we could chew because we don't know exactly where that's going to be yet. We have an idea. But this does account for it into the fact that we tried to pay as much as we can now. I think certainly we'll have to have some type of mid-year increase to the wage notices due to that fact January 1st. And we'll start studying that when we get some more solidified data.
Thank you very much. I just want to make sure, I guess it isn't soon.
Yeah.
I guess sometimes I forget what time of the year it is. The annual now mandatory increase that takes place. Okay. Thank you very much. Any other further discussion? Okay. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say nay. Thank you very much. We'll move on to the next item on the agenda. The certified determination chart, Dr. Valenzuela.
Yes, sir. President Sparks, members of the board. This is a document that was created many, many years ago. And really, again, it serves one primary purpose, and that's to place professional certificated staff in regards to their compensation and salary. As you can see, it's pretty basic. It's pretty easy to follow. A couple of highlights that I would highlight is First of all, as you know, the board approved a 4% compensation increase to all employees. So Mr. Downs evaluates and analyzes the previous year's data and elevates these to the greatest extent possible, again, keeping in consideration that we want to be fair and considerate of those who are already under our employ so that we're not creating those kinds of overlaps where somebody's coming in from outside, making more than somebody with same education and experience that's already been here. Another point of note, given some feedback from individual board members and public comments, is we've really worked with intentionality to continue to push forward in regards to the number of years of credit that we can afford professional certificated staff members when they come to us from other places. We know that education, like every other sector of the workforce, is a highly competitive market, and we want to be competitive. And so we've done that, again, in a thoughtful way that still protects the overall structure of the system so that our own people are not penalized and that they, in fact, are treated fairly. But with this intentionality, Mr. Downs reports that we will be moving that. We went from 6 to 7. Now we're moving next year from 7 to 8 years of service. And the other thing I think it's worth noting, if you look at the cell for the wages that we offer, even like you look at the beginning, in the beginning, you know, the newest teacher, 0 experience with a bachelor's degree, just graduating from college, the base is over 40,000. I think it's over 41,000. And the board may remember at the compensation. To be continued. Yeah. And but we get up and leave.
Yeah.
Follow directions, right?
Yes, sir.
That's what the process is there for. You play the way you practice. Yes, sir. Amber, we'll wait till you confirm that we're back live. We are still live. Okay. Okay. Well, then I would apologize. I would apologize on behalf of the board for the disruption that occurred. You know, that's what fire alarms and drills are for, is to alarm. And so when we hear it, we will get up and we will leave until we've been cleared to return. So we are now back. And I believe I was at the point of talking about the salaries of our employees in regards to this determination chart. Actually, I think some good points. We talked about the additional year of credit that we've been able to add with intentionality. And that the starting salary for a brand new teacher base salary is over 40. But as the board will recall, and this is where I was before the horn went off, is with the compensation package, we added an additional, I think, $300 to the performance pay component of Prop 301. And so there's some variables, but in essence, the value of the Prop 301 on average is about $6,900. So if you add those two together, the $41,000 plus the, call it $6,800, that our beginning teachers are earning in the upper 40s. And I know that's been something that the board has been prioritizing in terms of just competitive wages, retention of employees, and recruitment, and just the most fair compensation that we can provide for our greatest resource, our people. So proud of that. And with that, I would turn it over to Scott to see if he had anything else to add to it, but and I will still ask him, but I don't think anything substantive is presented in the recommendation. I would, in essence, recommend the approval of the certified initial salary determination chart for school year 23-24 as presented.
Thank you very much. We have a recommendation. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Motion and a second. Any further discussion?
I just want to thank the district for continuing to push that bar further into the years of experience. I think it really allows us to attract master teachers and gives us the ability to sort of be able to do that. And just for it, I'm looking at it, and it's even the base without the 301 is nearly twice what I made my first year teaching. So I am extremely pleased that we're able to do this much. It's, obviously I think most of us in this room, if we had our way, would pay teachers $100,000 fresh out of the bag just because they're worth it. But it's not the reality that we're dealing with, but we keep pushing the bar, and I'm extraordinarily grateful that we've been able to do this.
And we do have amazingly gifted, smart, professional, and tirelessly dedicated people. I am humbled and grateful every day.
Thank you very much. Any other discussion? I echo that sentiment. Okay. Seeing no more discussion, all those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed say nay. Thank you very much. We'll go ahead and move on to the next item on the agenda, the consent agenda. Dr. Valenzuela.
Yes, sir. Dr. Sparks, members of the board, you have in your packet a list of items that are routine consent matters and may be considered in one motion, and I do recommend approval of the consent agenda in its entirety at this point.
Thank you very much. We have a recommendation. Do we have a motion?
Second.
A motion and a second. Any further discussion? Okay. Seeing no further discussion, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say nay. Thank you very much. We'll move. Are there any possible future agenda consideration items? Okay. Seeing none, we'll establish the next board meeting will be May 10th here in this pod at the standard hour of 6 o'clock. And seeing no executive session, may I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say nay. Thank you very much. Thank you all for being here this evening and enjoying the fire alarm exercises.
Yes, sir.